Hello there. This is going to be my review for Loki Season 2 Episode 3. First of all, I apologise for this video being so late. I've been really busy over the back half of last week, and didn't really have chance to make this video until now. But now, be careful for spoilers, let's get into the episode. So Renslayer appears in 1868 to meet Miss Minutes and set Victor Timely on his path. It's strange to see a Kang variant in the past when, if I'm not mistaken from the comics and what we've seen so far in the MCU, that Kang comes from the future. So we'll have to wait and see what the deal is there. Maybe the previous He Who Remains extracted one of his own variants from a timeline before its pruning, at infancy, and put him in the 1800s to make him grow into a more warm-hearted and humble person, to avoid him becoming a Kang. So back at the TVA, things are only getting worse. Ouroboros is fine in this scene, except maybe his surprise at the implication being able to hack into the system is possible, which maybe he should have known if that's possible or not. Like, he shouldn't be surprised at anything. He's meant to be the expert, and they're obviously doing it just for comedic effect. So, Loki and Mobius go to 1893, and Mobius is funny and charming and steals the scene in my opinion. He always seems so passionate about things from every time period he visits. So now Victor Timely makes his debut, and Jonathan Majors does a phenomenal job in this variation of Kang. He's charming and quirky and a breath of fresh air as a character. He seems to have a stutter, which is nice to see as a person who struggles to get his words out himself, which is why my editing process is sometimes very long. So the guy that keeps referring to Timely as boy, I feel like that's Marvel trying to dance around the fact this is the 1800s, and Timely is indeed a black man, but they can't have anyone using a slur. Obviously, they can't use slurs, but I feel like they could have done more. They could have done better than using the word boy. It was very obvious that they were trying to make it all family friendly. So Sylvie pops out of nowhere to kill Timely, and for some reason I was genuinely surprised by it. When Mobius brings that two-seat bicycle out and Loki said absolutely not, I was so disappointed. I wanted to see Loki on the back of a two-seater bicycle for some reason. It would have been so funny. So Timely brings Renslayer Miss Minutes back to his house. You get to see the first hints of Miss Minutes' motives when she rolls her eyes at Timely and Renslayer getting along. Then again when she scoffs at them and then gets physically in between them. So they escape and get into the boat. So it took 3 viewings to catch this, but he points to a design in his journal that can fix the loom, which is the invention that Timely collects from his lab later on in the episode. So now Miss Minutes and Timely betray Renslayer and send her off on a boat, and this is where things get really strange. We now see how unhinged Miss Minutes is, and it turns out that Miss Minutes is very horny for He Who Remains, and this was quite uncomfortable to watch. It reminded me of how unhinged the AI in the Planet Express ship in Futurama was in that episode, the one that fell in love with Bender. So Renslayer has that massive monologue rant at Mobius, and I think I've decided I'm tired of her character. I think she's just dry, uninteresting, controlling, and all around just bitchy and unlikable. Sylvie also joins the party and holds Timely at knife point, and Timely really sells it in this scene that he's a genuine and kind man, and it convinces Sylvie, and fair enough, because it convinced me. He convinced me he could never hurt a fly. So now, Sylvie is left with Renslayer, and I was really hoping that Sylvie was just going to kill her. And I was really disappointed when she just kicked her into the time door to the End of Time Citadel. Although it was hardcore to see the He Who Remains corpse still sitting in the chair, though. It was pretty eerie. And we end the episode with a cliffhanger about what He Who Remains did to Renslayer, which, doesn't really do it for me because I don't care about Renslayer at all. As I said, I'm tired of her. In conclusion, this was a very good episode. Jonathan Majors as Victor Timely stole the show in my opinion. My only complaints was Ravonna Renslayer in general, and the unsettling scene with Miss Minutes, and perhaps Loki and Mobius taking a back seat in this episode. But that's all for now, guys. That's all for today. Stay tuned for Friday's upload, the final part to What If Savage Opress survived his wounds on Mandalore. But until then, guys, bye!